Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube and Facebook, where we're going to be previewing Inter Milan's game against Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League on Tuesday the 18th of September. Big game, Andrew.
Big game, massive game. First game in Champions League for Tottenham, and obviously the first game in Champions League for Inter Milan. Two massive teams. Both big hopes domestically. Both would. They're not in that top echelon of teams who you'd have as favourites for the Champions League, but I don't know. You could see both of them going on the run. So it's a massive game. Yeah, big test of character for Tottenham, having been beaten by your lot, by Liverpool at the weekend. Before that, beaten by Watford. So it's a big game for Spurs to come back on. But similarly, it's a big one for Inter Milan. They made a load of signings in the summer. They've got a really good squad, but it's not clicking. They lost again at the weekend, 1-0 to Parma. And so it's a massive game really, and both teams aren't in the best of forms, which means it could be a thrilling 4-3 again, or it could be an absolutely dire 0-0 and with nothing doing. So yeah,
There's a lot of history in this picture. Let's cast our minds back to October 2010 when Inter Milan were 4-0 up at half-time against Tottenham in the group stages, and that man, Gareth Bale, it's the first glimpse of you could say, when we saw Gareth Bale as the superstar of the year, getting that second half. Actually, do you have many memories from that game?
Yeah, he had Maicon on toast.
Maicon on toast.
Yeah, one of the greatest fullbacks in the modern game, and he was obviously wasn't quite at his full powers by that point. And Gareth Bale just taught him a lesson, and that was like you said, that was the start of him going on to become a top level player, and his move to Real Madrid eventually followed. But yeah, the last two times they played, they've been entertaining games. Obviously, both teams are very different now, but I think the way they approach it, Spurs themselves always tend to be quite. Even when they're not playing well, they're always trying to attack for the most part. It doesn't, like at the weekend with Liverpool, it doesn't really come off, and it was poor from Tottenham on Saturday. But I think Tottenham will have a go. I think Inter Milan will have a go for definitely. I mean, the San Siro, one of the greatest stadiums in world football. And you look at some of the players on the pitch. I mean, obviously everybody knows Spurs very well, but Inter Milan, you've got Icardi, who they rested at the weekend, so he could come in up front. And you're thinking, on the flip side, you look at Spurs and you're thinking they could probably do with resting Harry Kane for a game or two just to get him up to speed, whereas Inter Milan went and did that the weekend and rest their star striker, Mauro Icardi. They've brought in Nainggolan in the summer. They brought in Balde from Monaco. They brought in Stefan de Vrij, which is a brilliant signing at centre-half, from Lazio. So there's a lot of quality in that team. You've got Candreva, who is brilliant from distance and with set pieces, even if he is getting on a bit now. Oh yeah. Brozovic in the middle of the park, Perisic on the left wing. So there's a lot of goals in that team. There's a lot of creativity in that team when they're playing well. It's just they've not quite clicked yet. I think it was 4 or 5 big name signings that they've had over the summer, and they've not quite clicked. And that's where you're thinking maybe Tottenham are thinking, if there's a time to play Inter Milan away, this could be a good time if Spurs can get their own shit together, to put it bluntly.
We were talking attackingly. Obviously, there's lots of quality attackingly. Look at defensively. You mentioned De Vrij at the back. Look at the keeping situation. Obviously, Lloris is still out.
Yeah.
Vorm had a shocker against Liverpool at the weekend. And then you look at Inter Milan, you've got Handanovic. Do you think the goalkeeper situation at both clubs could be key in this game?
Handanovic, you know what you're going to get. He's very solid. He's reliable. He's a safe pair of hands. I think he's one of those where there was rumblings of maybe Lloris going to Real Madrid the year before last, and I remember at the time looking at it thinking someone like Handanovic would be a good replacement. He's a top draw keeper. So Inter Milan, I haven't got any worries there. But yeah, on the flip side of that, Michel Vorm, I was gutted that he went to Tottenham in a way, because he'd been playing so well for Swansea for 2 seasons, and you're thinking he was there, one of the best keepers in the league. Right? He wasn't necessarily the biggest name, but he was consistent. And as soon as he went to Tottenham, he's just going there to sit on the bench and get paid a nice wedge. And now he's finally getting a run of games. I think Lloris is supposed to be out for 7 weeks. And from what you've seen so far, he's looked poor the last 2 games. There was, the game previously, I think the Watford game, when he passed the ball out of a goal kick for a corner, it's just like, what are you doing? And then against Liverpool, you could argue he was at fault for both goals, really, and a couple of other potential goals that didn't happen. So I think it's a worry for Spurs. And also the fact that their defenders didn't look comfortable against Liverpool. Just the basics, the fundamentals, the positioning, the simple passes were going astray. The basic fundamentals of football. And when you got people like Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, they're better than that. They're again two of the best centre halves. And I as a partnership, I think they're absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Spurs, it doesn't look all that comfortable at the back for Spurs. And when you look forward, and Harry Kane looks tired already. Well, he's been tired since, you could say, the end of last season. So you're looking at the goals aren't necessarily flowing as they'd hope, and the defence is looking a little shaky. So it's not great for Spurs. I think defensively, you look at as well. Divide, they probably have Miranda or start centre half for Inter Milan, and that's a good two there with a really solid keeper behind them. So I think Milan have got the Inter Milan got the advantage there. But yeah, it really could go either way, and it could. It's one of those games where it could be. I feel really short on this. It could be goals all over the place, or it could be absolutely dire. I feel like I'm very much hedging my bets and sitting on the fence, but it's hard to predict. Both teams aren't in the best of form, but both teams have players who can turn it on and win a game single-handedly. I feel like I've just taught one really long sentence. So now to you, Joe Stanley. Now
I'm going to pressure you and ask you. It's going to either make you look like a genius or completely not a fool.
All right.
Score prediction.
You know what? I'm going to go with... I don't know, my gut's telling me 3-1 to Spurs. But the fact that my gut's not great and I just take tablets for it means I shouldn't really trust my gut. And I'm going to go with... you know what? I'm going to go with 2-0 to Tottenham.
I was looking at a 3-2 to Tottenham, but then that was my initial gut instinct. But then I saw Inter Milan's result the weekend, so maybe 1-0 Spurs. Both sides struggled, so
yeah, that's probably the more reasonable approach.
It's going to be a very, very close game.
Yeah, I hope it's all I'm asking for is, I mean, obviously I'm neutral on both parts, but I'm just hoping it's an open game at least with just some chances. There's enough attacking talent on that pitch to score a bag load. So here's hoping it's a good game and it's not just a dire 0-0 dish. But then would 0-0 be to flip it back on you? Would 0-0 be an awful result for Tottenham? Really, you thinking first game Champions League away at Inter Milan in their group of death?
If you'd asked me a couple of years ago, you'd probably say, back in 2018, yeah, that's a fine result. Looking at now, both sides struggling. Inter Milan looking at a worse situation than Tottenham. I'd say Tottenham should really be getting a victory from this game.
Cool. All right,
with the quality
no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, it's one of those, I suppose. But, okay, that was our prediction. So thank you, Andrew. Sorry, first of all,
it's okay. It's okay.
So that was our prediction of the Inter Milan versus Spurs. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, etc.
Yeah,
all that jazz, as Andrew always says.
Yeah, stalk Joe on Instagram. Yep.
Or Twitter.
Yeah. Was it Joe Stanners?
At Stanners_1892 and
there you
at
go.
Joe Stanley 1892 on Instagram.
All right, don't take the piss. Christ. Yeah.
Follow Andrew at Cultured Left Peg. Anyway, thanks for watching.
If you want.
See you later.